Total Home Improvement Company presents the Spring Blowout Special of the season. Remodel your kitchen, bathroom, basement, plus flooring specials for every room. Call 313-728-2025 for your free in-home estimate today. Mention this commercial and get 10% off your project. Call 313-728-2025. Remodel your home today. Total Home Improvement, the company you call for your home improvement needs.
You're watching United Gospel Explosion. United Gospel Explosion TV.
See, I'm a gangster with God and I'm spreading the word. Truth be told, that's right, truth be heard. No matter what your gift is, it's made to see. So give it up for victory. United Gospel Explosion TV. United Gospel Explosion TV. United Gospel Explosion TV. United Gospel Explosion TV.
My love, where I come from. And you guys see us traveling throughout the country and having fun wherever we go. But not only is Detroit my home base, it's the center of my power. So many stars. Well, God's the center of my power, as you guys know. But so many stars have come through here. So many affiliates has come from right in these chairs right here into your living room. And I must say I'm humbled to have the cast with me today. You're my co-host today. I mean, I can't get more excited, more exuberant. And you guys know it's Metro Youth Day time. I'm putting it out here. Maybe they can zoom in a little, maybe they can't. But Metro Youth Day, July 10th. This year, Belle Isle is going to be the 40th annual.
Right.
Listen, I didn't say 4 and I didn't say 20. I said 40 years of service to our youth. Metro Youth Day at Belle Isle, you guys better be there. I want you to shut on whatever you're doing. Tell your school if they're not prepared, if they haven't linked with Metro Youth Day, you have the contacts to do it today. And just let me open up because I don't want to waste no time. And let me introduce my guest, and I'm so excited. I call her my sister. She's my little sister. I know she's my little sister. But Dr. Barbara Jean Johnson, to your left, which is my right, and I just wanted her to say hi. Doctor, say hello to the audience.
Hello, everybody.
And it's just such a pleasure to have you guys here.
Always.
And these are all business people. When you're dealing with Metro Youth Day, the whole community and business world comes together to make this thing happen. And you just got to be open your heart. And Barbara Jean, I always say, to God's glory.
God be the glory.
If you give me an accolade, you always hear me say to God's glory. So keep my head on the right level.
Right.
To know that we're
You're not the man, but you know the man.
I know the man. Come
Tell
on now.
somebody.
Here she goes. See, that's why I brought her in today. and to my left, which is your right, man, I have one of the founder of Metro Youth Day. In person comes out with us each year that he can. Mr. Ed Deeb. Ed, how's it going? You know, this is where we need the applause in the background. But and the beauty of this thing is, Ed, I was telling them,
Yes.
this isn't number 10.
Right.
This isn't number 20.
No, this is it.
This is number 40.
No. 40. 40.
40 years of service to our youth. And what does that feel like to you, these 40 years?
We started Youth Day at the time when there were problems in the city.
Yes.
And they were having problems, and we had to do something. And I was talking to Mayor Young at the time.
Yes, of course.
And he said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "Well, I don't know. Let's see what we can do." So I talked to a lot of the people in the food industry.
Mm-hmm.
And we got them together, and we got some interest in this, and eventually we got some of the good things out of the people, and eventually we met people like your own here, and
Barbara Jean Johnson,
and
Dr. Barbara Jean.
We ended the problems, and we started a whole new ball game again. And then we thank everybody for being with us.
Yeah. Well, and that's a blessing. And Barbara Jean, when I think about this experience of Metro Youth Day, I remember I had the opportunity to meet Tom Joyner a couple of times. I just love Tom Joyner because, they did the ocean cruises. They did a lot of festive activities. But the thing is, he had a thing that he said, we're partying with a purpose. They wouldn't just, and that puts me in mind of Metro Youth Day. This is a purpose of bringing not just young people together, but the community together. And what's some of the ways that happens in Metro Youth Day?
Well, in Metro Youth Day, it's just a blessing, and I've stayed with it so many years.
Oh, my
because of
God,
the fact
yes.
that, children are my heart.
Oh,
And
I
I've been
know.
in so many different children's organizations, still belong to some of them.
Yeah.
Used to be one of the presidents of Kiwanis, and
Absolutely.
Kiwanis is, and Ed,
Thank you.
International
he and I sit on a
Kiwanis
lot of-
Society.
You know what?
Yeah.
We were the one that caught her out of Lansing. She was working at a Lansing.
With the governor.
And she came back with us and started us. That's why we're
Right,
growing.
well, that's why
Yeah.
we started with
Well,
Metro,
absolutely.
right.
Absolutely,
With Youth Day
absolutely.
Idol contest, because about 22 years ago, American Idol came on. That was introduced to the public and stuff and whatever. And
Yeah.
what happened was, I said, wow, we're doing a lot with these young people. Let's do more. You always have to think about what's next. What can we do more to enhance it? And that turned out to be a great thing. You came and you
Oh, yes.
joined us and stuff and whatever. And children who may never get the opportunity to do anything or whatever, they were introduced into Metro Detroit Youth Day.
That's
They
right.
came and did auditions. We didn't
Oh,
just take
wow.
anybody. Anybody could have came on and said, well, I can sing, whatever. But we didn't do that. Hello, somebody.
Well, Youth Idol actually was a real it is a real representation, not just of the talent that we have in our
Right.
surroundings, but I think it's an inspiration.
Oh, it is. And it inspires them and it gives them something to look forward to when they
right.
come out. It gives them something. They can dance, they can sing. We have some talented children here, just like we did in Motown. In the Motown
Right.
days,
Absolutely.
people didn't know how many people were talented in the city of Detroit. And then Barry came and
And you
he
saw
and
him
Smokey,
flourish out.
and you saw him, and that's what has happened with our young people.
Right.
And you've played a major role in that because of the fact that you have brought them into theater, you have brought them into movies.
They've actually gone to the next level.
They've gone.
A lot of the young
Yes.
people,
And
and I must say it. And I mean,
Yeah, you
I
can.
didn't mean to cut you off, Barbara
No,
Jean,
no.
But while you're on that point, I must. Can I urge them to bring
people,
their kids out?
People like you,
Mm-hmm.
people like her, helped make this thing work.
Wow.
We were working at Belle Isle, and
Right.
we got everybody together in the leadership of her and you and others.
Mm-hmm.
We created Metro Youth Day, and to be a regular annual thing. You know, we
Beautiful.
get thousands of people out there.
Oh, absolutely.
At what point did it go from being, a regular presentation to, this is something that, was blessed and just beyond the imagination? I mean, when you go to getting over 20,000 people at a time, you're filling up concert halls.
Right.
But you're on Belle Isle. And so at some point it went to 20,000 and then skyrocketed now to even,
40.
we're expecting close to 40,000
Yeah,
kids
at
this year?
least, yeah.
At least 40,000?
Yeah.
Can you remember the turning point where it went from like
Yeah,
20 to
well,
40?
we haven't yet, but if it gets to that point, we might have to. But right now, we're okay.
No, not a stopping point. Do you understand? Can you remember where it went from being a medium-sized presentation to such a large world-sized
Well, we
presentation?
introduced different things into it. Like we
Right.
had the sports stars that we always have come
right.
out.
That's right.
Also, we had
All the
like,
sports stars.
and Ice Cube, he came.
And when you
and
say the
people-
sports stars,
Yeah,
just to
the
give them
sports-
their props, we're talking about the Tigers, the Lions, the Pistons.
Oh, yeah.
They're all out. So she's talking about the major professionals.
And not only that, but we have other things that's, to build them up. We have like the scholarships, for instance.
Tell them about
That's
college
a
enrollment.
major thing.
Scholarships.
Speak about college
We had a
enrollment.
meeting the other day at the Detroit Zoo, and the young lady who's in charge of it, Dr. LaJoyce Brown, she said we already have 18 colleges who have signed
Right,
up to
that's
be
exactly
a
right.
part of Metro Detroit Youth Day.
Partying with a purpose.
Partying
right?
with a purpose.
See, when you say 18 colleges,
Yes.
and
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what diversification means, you know what
Well-
going to the next level mean.
Well,
That's
we
huge.
started. we started the college program with her and others, and 2 or 3 of them started, and now they said, well, how come we're not involved in this?
Oh my
Right.
God!
So
Look
we said,
at
well, you're
this.
welcome. There's no problem,
Look at
you
this.
know. So they started to come in.
Wow.
And get the
now,
scholarships.
they're there. They do things. They put up events at the field itself. You know,
Oh wow!
you got to see some of these.
Oh, it's amazing, and I'll be out taking interviews this
Oh,
year
yeah.
for the TV station as
Oh,
well.
good.
As well as, of course, I'm always my sister's assistant at the Youth Idol. And then I want to put out a plea that there's going to be another a Youth Idol competition. Well, I shouldn't say competition, but tryout.
Right.
And it'll
Oh,
be
yeah,
tomorrow
yeah,
at
tomorrow.
TCBC Conference Center, TCBC Conference Center. If your child has talent in the least way, I don't mind, in the different professionals involved in this, don't mind coming out and critique these young
Right.
people to let them know anyone can tell you sound good,
Yeah,
but it takes a professional to tell you with taste.
Right.
Not just to hurt you, but where you might need to improve on.
Absolutely. We all need improvement.
And when you learn where you can improve at, you can
That's
do
right.
it. They say if you know a little better,
Hello, son.
you can do a little better. That's right. That's right. That's right. Hello, Detroit. Welcome back to United Gospel Explosion TV. We were just pressing that clip that you just saw from Metro Youth Day. And as you guys know, every year Metro Youth Day, I think last year they had 30,000 kids out there on Belle Isle. But we represent with Metro Youth Day. We bring the talent to the stage for that. And again, that was an outcry and a plea for your child. If they have a gift, it could be singing, it could be dancing, from gospel to clean R&B. But we want to highlight those young people and their talents on the Youth Idol stage this year. And that was Barbara Jean Johnson, who I call my spiritual sister, because she beat me up like that. I'll accept it from her, too. And, of course, I had Ed Deeb from Michigan Food and Beverage, one of the main founder of the Metro Youth Day. But it's the 40th year anniversary, and I'm urging you guys to get involved because I think it's life-changing for a young person. And especially when they come out for the Idol contest, I help groom them from that, show them stage presence. And it's just a big deal that the confidence it can instill in the child to come out and perform in front of an audience at an early age. And I saw that happen with Isaac Ryan Brown, as you guys know. He came from our stage, I think, to America's Got Idol, America's Got Talent. And then he went on to Disney, and you know the story with him and Raven Simone. And King, the high school, King is out of high school now, I do believe, and he's ready to do another movie with us now. So many of these young people have been groomed to great things. So you guys get ready. And Metro Youth Day is July the 10th at Belle Isle. Starts at 8:30 in the morning, but I suggest you get there at 7. You know, so you can get a good spot and enjoy yourself. Because 40,000 people ain't a few people. And so you guys join us in that. Get ready also. It's another talent search from Gina T. And that'll be going on this Sunday after your church hours. If people want to get involved in the fashion world, Gina T is the Midwest Queen of Fashion. And we're happy to be doing her film work at her presentations. And get involved. That's for you. Who knows? Who knows where you, but I know one thing. The Bible says your gift, not mine, but your gift, it makes room for you. So you guys step out in your gift and get ready for great things. But today, I want to put a drum roll in front of this one. Today, I have a friend of mine, a comrade, a spiritual brother. I've been knowing him for years. His name is Darwin Griffin. Darwin, how are you today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me on your show today.
Man, it's just a pleasure going. And Darwin has had his own TV shows out here, radio shows. But also, just Darwin, say hi to the audience again and just give them a little bit of your the different groups and the organizations you're affiliated with. Then we'll get right into our.
Well, first and foremost, I'd have to pay homage because I've been doing a show here at WHPR for the
Watkins and
last
Henry.
13 years.
Yes, sir.
Called Expose Under the Sun.
Yes, sir.
that comes on Tuesdays. I'm gonna do a little shameless plug.
Please do.
That comes on Tuesdays from 10:30 to 11 o'clock, and I have a variety of different guests, to come on my show, and and then the other thing that I did, I used to do a radio show with a gentleman named Hill Harper.
Okay, yes.
At one of the other radio stations,
Exactly.
as well as with my comrade who I was co-hosting the show with, named Livonia Perriman.
Yes, Miss Perriman show,
So,
absolutely. Who was on this station for long years and years as well?
Yeah, well, that was Brenda Perriman.
Oh,
That was her
Livonia
sister,
Perriman. Okay.
right?
That's
This
her
is
sister.
Livonia Perriman,
Okay.
right?
Okay, I
And
see.
the late great Brenda Perriman.
Yes.
That was on the that was on this.
That was
station
on the
with
show
us.
here.
Right.
Okay, my mistake there. Yes,
And,
exactly.
It was interesting because we had a lot of. I was the political correspondent for the show, and it kind of gave me an opportunity to go, and I was the co-host, political correspondent, and also producer. So it gave me an
okay.
opportunity to meet a whole lot of the political people throughout the state as well as throughout the nation.
Okay.
So
right,
and then,
absolutely.
Then the other thing that I do too is that I'm also the second vice chair under Keith Williams for the Michigan Democratic Party Black Caucus, and so that's one of the things that we've been doing is looking at interviewing candidates that are running for office, and then looking to see how we can endorse them, in the races that they may be running in.
Right.
And we know that we can't endorse anybody like on our show or on your show.
Right.
But what we're trying to do is to do everything we can to get people enlightened on the positions that are out here. So we know they've taken civics out of the schools. And we know that we got to put civic engagement back into the community.
Exactly.
And that's what we do
Exactly.
through the Black Caucus, as well as through another organization that I'm also the vice president for, called A. Philip Randolph Institute. And A. Philip Randolph was one of the first union people that he went and he started the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters.
Okay.
When the Pullman porters were not getting the same amount of money as their white counterparts were.
Okay.
So he unionized the black porters so that they could have the same amount of money for the same hours that their white counterparts were making.
Okay. Equal
So-
work for equal pay.
Equal work for equal pay. And then he was also one of the writers for the I Have a Dream speech that Martin Luther King did. He and a gentleman named Bayard Rustin.
Okay.
So there was that movie that was out
Amazing.
recently called Rustin, and that was him. That was Bayard Rustin that co-authored that speech for Martin Luther King Jr.
Well, let me just say this. And so, as you see, this is why I asked Brother Darwin to give his own introduction, because it's not the platitudes, but it's the level of outreach that I've always seen in his heart that brought him on this show today. And we're just happy to have you here. And we're going to roll up our sleeves here because, as you know, and I wanted to bring him in because he is one of my political consultants. And you guys know we had a major debate last night on TV. Now, you can take it and say, well, those guys ain't talking about nothing, or I'm not interested. But you got to know that the debate last night was really not so much even the words, I feel, Brother Darwin, but they were setting up a platform, a catalyst, a slingshot for who would have the most effect for running for the presidential office. And I really don't know how we got here within light of recent indictments against President Trump. And I'm just saying that I didn't make the indictments, but they're there. But to think that after that, you're invited in a debate for the greatest office seat in the world, the presidency of the United States of America. So
You're looking to be
Only
the
today.
commander-in-chief
exactly.
of the free world. And we know that there's so many other nations throughout the world that depend on us.
Absolutely.
We're like in terms of, say, the big brother to a lot of nations that may need our assistance. And when it comes down to assistance, when it comes to food, trade, goods, oil, we have so many different things that we assist people in. When it also, sadly enough, when it comes to even arms, that we go and give to other nations that may be going through some kind of, wars or other strife that they're dealing with, we assist, with that part as well.
All right, and the power of the United States, and we know, and I know exactly where you're going with that, but I want to break it down and tear down some walls and get right down. You mind if I get down to a nitty-gritty with
Sure,
this?
go ahead.
A lot of people are watching to see which one of these guys will be competent enough, in an either-or situation to lead the United States of America. I mean, that's just what it was last night.
But the thing is, this was the first debate that we've had where you had two presidents. One was a former president, and the other one was the current president.
Check.
So you had things that you could question each other about. The years that 45, or I normally don't say his name, but anyway,
let's say 45
did, and then the things that Biden is doing.
Right.
So they were able to go and question each other's role that they had when they were either in the White House or that they're in the White House now.
Right.
So Biden could go back and ask 45 some of the things that he did, question his reasons for why he did some of the things he did, how he may have gotten through the COVID under his regime, things that Biden did under his regime when he got us out from underneath the stranglehold of COVID.
Right.
And the same thing when it comes down to inflation, when it comes down to the war that's going on with Hamas and Palestine.
Absolutely.
And then also with inflation, when you're talking about the infrastructure, when you're talking about the people that have an issue with how the nation is being seen by other nations. It was mentioned quite a few times in the debate last night that 45 was saying that this is the worst that the United States is looked upon now.
We have to share with you on this one because oftentimes, especially when you hear from the pulpit of television, and then when you think of the pulpit of a presidential
Election.
Either current or past, and the gravity that they hold on their decisions, but the fact that we're looking at a president, and Biden mentioned this, and I had to concur with him, Darwin. He said he never saw a president talk to the American public the way Donald Trump does. Because it's one thing to run for president. It's another thing to set opinions of negativity that can go and not only to the core of America, but other leaders around the world is watching this, right?
But you know what he did was just like how he wears those MAGA hats. Make America great again.
Exactly.
The way he was making it sounded like he was saying America's not
Isn't
great.
not great now.
Exactly.
And
They need to have him be reelected to become great again.
right. So
And that's where the question was.
he's creating his own disparity.
Exactly.
He's creating his own bad situation, let's say. Not that we don't have ups and downs as a country, but in fact, that's part of being a government to check and balance the run of the country. But so we have ups and downs as a country, and every country does. But when you look at how we unfolded from the pandemic, when we look at how when the world banking crisis was in jeopardy, when Obama took office,
When you look at Roe versus Wade,
et cetera.
when you talk about the right for a woman to be able to go and bear children, or if she decides that she wants to cease that childbearing that she is able to do, does she have the right to do it on her own volition
Right.
versus having somebody else to make that decision for her?
Major issues.
Major issue.
And so I brought that up, and I'm glad that we're on this right now. So many of the journalists were saying that when they fact check, and I wonder if this makes a difference to you, that when they fact check number 45, and I'll say Trump, They found him lying. As my mama used to say, there's a lie and there's a bald-faced lie. Darwin, it was a bald-faced lie he was standing there telling on half the things he was saying in response to what Biden was getting them. So for a person looking, it looks like he was doing strong sound bites maybe, but it wasn't true facts.
They said that, and it was so interesting too, because I was looking at one of the networks last night after the debate, and they were going through over 40 discrepancies that 45 said.
Wow.
40. Whereas the thing is that there was a lot of things that he said that when they fact checked, and that was the only thing like last night.
Right.
That my only comment about that last night was that it seemed like President Biden was doing his own fact checking rather than letting the political pundits do the fact checking.
Right.
Because there was times that he would just look into the camera and like look real puzzled. And people kind of took that maybe a little bit different, but it was Biden processing all the lies that were being said.
He said at the time.
And he's like, I can't believe that he would make that statement.
Right,
like that.
absolutely.
You know, and that was the thing that, you know, saying about people that got fired, people that were incompetent, talking about the fact that here, some claims that he made about Nancy Pelosi and what happened on January the 6th.
Right.
I mean, it was so many different things that were said that kind of, and even the question about the comments that he made pertaining to black people, you know, and, you know, and I was kind of like just surprised that he would say these, but what it did was it made people realize before you cast your ballot for this man, you need to do some fact checking on your own.
Yeah,
and you
absolutely.
also need to do some research on your own.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the things that I think that people need to do more often before they go and they support a candidate. Look up his or her record. Find out how they voted. Find out whether or not they supported an initiative for you that's of interest to you. And find out whether or not if they're supporting the party that they subscribe to. So if they're a Democrat, they're not flipping over and voting Republican, and vice versa. So that makes the big difference when it comes down to people need to do their own research about candidates and not believe what everybody else says. I did a show earlier, and I was talking about the hype that people take when they go and they support other entertainers.
Right.
And when the entertainer says that I'm supporting a person, that's the thing that they do. They want to go out here and they want to say, hey, well, because if this entertainer is supporting this person, I'm going to support him or her too.
Yes.
Without researching and finding out more about why this
Well,
person
do your research, and not just in that, but in life as well.
Absolutely.
Do the research. Don't depend on what Minister Torrance say or Brother Darwin would say. Reach out there and you know, and especially today where the information superhighway puts it at your fingertip.
Well,
you know, it's not like when we used to have to go to the library
and
or
get a
go
World
to some-
Book
even
encyclopedia or something to
this
research.
is like at fingertip, and you
everything.
can find out
So
so
easy.
much, and it's several different options there for you to decide on.
And James, just like you said, you can look at this. This phone pretty much has a plethora of information
Absolutely.
that you can look up.
Absolutely.
Rather than have to go and get out of your comfort zone in your house and run to go to a library and sit for hours trying to research and write down the information on the paper.
Well, listen, Darwin, we're going to take a quick break because it's a half hour now, but we're going to come right back to you. And look, I got the powerhouse Darwin Griffin with me on so many boards and organizations, and we talk about the debate. You know, it may not have been a great debate, but I'm going to tell you, I think Biden kind of held us on. He got kind of feisty in there. We'll be right back. You watch United Gospel Explosion TV. Peace.
You're watching United Gospel Explosion. United Gospel Explosion TV.
See, I'm a gangster with God and I'm spreading the word. Truth be told, that's right, truth be heard. No matter what your gift is, it's made to see. So give it up for victory.
Total Home Improvement Company presents the Spring Blowout Special of the season. Remodel your kitchen, bathroom, basement, plus flooring specials for every room. Call 313-728-2025 for your free in-home estimate today. Mention this commercial and get 10% off your project. Call 313-728-2025. Remodel your home today. Total Home Improvement, the company you call for your home improvement needs.
Your radio is now on TV. Your TV is now on radio. WHPR 88.1 FM can now be heard and seen worldwide. The same platform that hosts all of your favorite content now has WHPR TV and radio. Have your own radio or TV show on Roku with approximately 8 million homes. Debut your music video, clothing line, church ministry, plays, or products. A limited number of slots are available, so act now. For more information, visit RokuDetroit.com or call 313-868-6612. You heard about it. Now come be a part of it. Roku Detroit worldwide. Approximately 8 million viewers.
Justice for Mario Willis. Truth. Facts. Evidence. Mattered. Log into justiceformariowillis.com. Read for yourself.
In the world of digital broadcasting, transmitters and exciters sometimes do this. If this happens when you're watching WHPR TV 33, please do this. Watch us on Fire Stick, Roku, Apple TV, Google TV, or TV33WHPR.com. Download the WHPR TV app, and we can also be heard on Amazon Echo. So remember, if you see this, you can do this and support the station that supports you.
You're watching United Gospel Explosion. United Gospel Explosion TV.
See, I'm a gangster with God and I'm spreading the word. Truth be told, that's right, truth be heard. No matter what your gift is, it's made to see. So give it up for victory. United Gospel Explosion TV. United Gospel Explosion TV. United Gospel Explosion TV. United Gospel Explosion TV.
United Gospel Explosion TV, United Gospel Explosion TV. I just love that opening again, you guys. It's not old to me. It doesn't get old to me because, you know, when you unite good people, when you unite God's people, there is an explosion that takes off. And I think it's a synergy that's bigger than either one of us. And I'm saying, open your heart, grab the synergy field, catch the wave, as they say, Brother Darwin. Again, I'm with Darren Griffin for the second half of our show here. And I hope you had a chance to hear us talk a little bit about the presidential debate, and it's what you think about it. A lot of people say that Biden may have started a little weak, and after this I'm going to move on because I got to talk about June 18th and how powerful that was, I feel, and where we're going with that. But in that, Brother Darwin, when you saw the opening, and I think we spoke on that briefly, it seemed like Biden was weak or starting slow. But, I mean, I guess when you have Dennis the Menace that you're about to debate with, let that soak in. But if you're about to debate Dennis the Menace, just so to speak, or anyone else of them, then you don't know where they're going to be coming from. It's best for you to listen and to absorb what he's saying so you can give a proper response. And in this case, and I'm just saying this, it seemed that Biden was trying to give real responses to the answers at hand, and it seemed like Trump was doing that Pinocchio thing again.
Well, you know, people did not know, James, how which Trump was going to be on the debate stage.
Which one was going to show up?
They didn't know. You know,
Right.
people have split personalities. They didn't know which personality was going to come on the show. And that's where the issue comes in at. If the personality was going to come on how he's been in the past, stalking his person that he's debating with,
Right.
just like how he did when he was allegedly, he didn't say he did, but when he was walking around the stage, walking around
Nancy, yes.
Hillary Clinton
Oh, yes. Yes.
on
And
the stage.
the debate with
and it
Hillary
was
Clinton.
kind of trying to make her uncomfortable. But
Definitely intimidating.
you know, the thing is that you're supposed to stand in front of your microphone instead of walking around to somebody else's microphone and walk around behind them. And that was the one thing about the debate last night. They had set all these different protocols
Right.
to make sure they were 8 feet apart, whether or not they wanted to greet each other in the beginning, whether or not they wanted to acknowledge each other, whether or not they wanted to go and speak at the tail end or say goodbye or
Right, absolutely.
anything like that, or shake hands or anything. They didn't do any of that. I liked the way the format was without having all of the people in the audience
Yeah.
to kind of, you know, encourage or catcall an opposing, you know, candidate.
Exactly.
And it was like, and then they weren't able to bring in notes.
Yeah.
They had to do this off the cuff. And just like you were saying, I think that President Biden had went through a lot at Camp David with some of his people beforehand, so he could be able to go and state facts instead of state fiction. And that's the thing that he was doing. He was stating more factual information as opposed to more fictional.
And through the fact checking, through national news report agencies all over, they say they agree with you that, and as we said in the earlier, to have a debate and to come in totally unprepared, though. When I say unprepared, not even to know the facts that you're saying, and so.
But that was
but
a lot
I must
to
say off the
remember.
cuff. But off the
Yeah.
cuff, what I got to say for Trump is, he lies good because he's lying in such a way that it almost sounds like he answering the questions for real. I mean, it did sound that way.
But it sounded, James, like he believed in his lies.
Now that's scary.
That's the part that can be scary. Like some
That's
people
scary.
can tell lies and they know that they're a lie. But when you tell a lie and you believe in that lie, that's a little bit different.
On that cliff note, we're going to hold that debate. Maybe I can bring Brother Darwin back closer to November, when it's red hot, and we can see how things form up. And really, let's take a look at what's said through the candidates, and then we'll come back with something meaningful for you, maybe a breakdown per major speech or something that's done, or a major event where we can really have something to talk about. But it's not about the way the lips move. It's not about how pretty they are. It's about what's coming out of them.
Absolutely.
And if there's some facts coming out, and we're looking for facts to help our community, you know, we're looking for the right path for our community. And right now, let's listen to that. Let's watch the work, not just now, but the work that's been done, and see what we come up with. Because one thing about it that I like when Biden always say, it's not this country, it's not that country, it's our country.
Absolutely.
And I think that really we have to have that diversity, that collecting of diversity, to be strong enough to march into the office of the presidency. And when I think about diversity, I love other races, but I'm also 100% in love with our African American race, and how we touch other races, not just here, but when I travel. Man, everyone is influenced by different people's culture, and especially the African American culture. And I got excited during Juneteenth. We had so many powerful people come in for Juneteenth, and I just think that, you know, when you respect others, when you love yourself, then you can love others better and more. I'll just say more. And when I think of, I was speaking with Darwin, and I was telling him doing travels. I think on the last movie we did the nail shop, and I often use this example, and there's no slur against their race, but it's something I admired in them. When it came time to eat, whether we were in New York or California, or any major populated Vietnamese state, because it's an Asian black comedy, and so we were interfacing with them. But when it came time to eat, it's so. I was so amazed at the fact that no matter what city we were in, if it took a half-hour ride to the restaurant, and remember, you're passing everything you love within a half-hour ride from anywhere in America. But in the half hour, they would ride to a small establishment, a Vietnamese restaurant, and they would come in and spend thousands at that restaurant just because they were trying to support their culture. And that didn't make me in any way jealous or feel anything but longing for that to be our people. Absolutely. That's willing to make that sacrifice. And we're doing a whole month on entrepreneurship to teach concepts and bring speakers back like Darwin, that's also a businessman in true life, to be able to share, that phenomena that happens when you fall in love with yourself, your own culture, and how that can radiate. And the idea of Juneteenth is another holiday. If we get excited about anything, it should be Martin Luther King Day and Juneteenth now for the African American community in America, because these are the holidays that's really built up for you.
It brings the black community together. And the one thing that I'm seeing too is that on Juneteenth, you had a lot of entrepreneurs that had businesses at different festivals,
Right.
pop-up shops.
Right.
They had the food trucks. They had all kind of opportunities for you to buy their jewelry that they made, or clothing, or makeup.
Right.
I mean, it was so many different things, James, that people were selling at those Juneteenth celebrations.
Absolutely.
And where can you find that many black entrepreneurs in one setting?
Absolutely.
And that's the thing that is great, because when you look in the blackest city in in America, Detroit, you have a black business, and then you may have another ethnicity, then another ethnicity, then another ethnicity, and then you might have another black business somewhere else down the street or in the next block from
Yes.
that business.
Yes.
But with the Juneteenth celebrations, you had businesses right there together.
And those are seeds, I feel, that even the pop-up businesses, obviously, many of those businesses didn't have, were not brick and mortar businesses themselves, but the idea to have, and I call them seeds, so many seeds planted of entrepreneurship, that comprises this small pop-up business. It was a small pop-up, and you may not remember this, but those from Detroit that were here back in the 70s, it used to be a place called Dot Netta's Shrimp Hut. And they had the best shrimp. Their chicken was so good. Look, Mama was seeing you around the corner to wait in line, even when you was a kid, to get her some of that chicken. But you understand what I'm saying?
I totally understand. And that's the thing, because like you said, you could go east side, west side, northwest side, and find a Dot Netta's.
Right.
I used to go to the Dot Netta's all the time up there on Livernois. Right there on Livernois, just north of the John C. Lodge Expressway.
Oh, yeah, that was my favorite. One of my favorite ones, yeah.
And then the other one I would go to was, over there on Mac.
The original.
There. Exactly.
The
exactly.
original.
So, you have, and then when you think about businesses in the city of Detroit, you think about the Mr. Fofo's.
Yes.
Where you get some of the best corned beef at.
Right.
You think in terms of, say, about rib places, and you
we had
think
Young's, we had the different
Young
rib
barbecue
places that was
right.
set up. But the point I'm making is that those were seeds of pop-up shops or businesses. Some of them that had already existed is what I was saying with that. But even though the idea of those seeds, maybe it was 100 of them. I don't know how many that was there, but the fact that out of those hundreds, 10 of them may take root
Mm-hmm.
and grow to become a thriving restaurant. Motor City Soul Food. I'm just saying, but then from there, maybe another 1% of those might become a chain that can establish employment and security for the community. So we are paying attention to that during Entrepreneurship Month. The 10th was a beautiful day. But this next 2 months, we're going to be doing Entrepreneurship Month, and we're looking for the entrepreneurs to come in and tell their story.
And that's the thing, because, just as you're saying, James, it's important to hear their stories, because they may be the story that encourages someone else
Light up someone's
to
mind.
plant their own seed.
Absolutely.
That may germinate into a business or a franchise.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing that people need to hear more of. How did you get started?
Absolutely.
What did you go through? What were some of the trials and tribulations that you did? Did you lose faith
Right.
in what you were trying to do? Did people come at you and tell you you'll never succeed? You'll never be able to start a rib business or start a soul food
Right,
business
absolutely,
or
absolutely.
anything else. And that's the key thing that people need to hear more of. And then also finding seed money
Yes.
to get a loan to start a business. Because, you got so many people that had businesses that started in their basements,
Yes.
started in their kitchens, started as a seed that was planted when it came down to something in the living room and talking with other people, in the family to say, hey, let's do such and such. Let's take mama's recipe for sweet potato pie.
Oh, stop.
And we're going to sit up here and go, and we're going to put this, or let's take daddy's recipe that he had for that scintillating
Sauce.
sauce to go on barbecue, go
Right.
on those ribs.
Right. Right.
So that's the key thing that really made people really say, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And they did it. And they got the support and how they were going to go. And like you said, keep that going. And then also, it's the legacy, James,
Yes.
that you leave from family member to
Generational
family members,
legacies.
Children, grandchildren. And that's what makes the difference.
Yes.
'Cause-
Absolutely. And that's amazing that you say that, because when you think of legacies being held down, I hear generational wealth. But my spirit was just saying generational legacies.
Correct.
Because one thing about money, it comes and goes, but it's an art to procuring money, which we want to have those experts on the show. Don't get me wrong, because it does take the finance, but that legacy is a tradition that's held down, where your mother made these yeast rolls, her mama made these yeast rolls, and what if we can continue to keep that in packaging? And other races do it. Every other race has a legacy of food. Chinese have Chinese food. You have the Arabic food, the Indian food, and we enjoy all cultures' food. One thing about the black race, we don't discriminate when we come to
When we
sharing
get
our
hungry-
money with other cultures.
Right. When we get hungry, we know that eating is a necessity. And we will go and support whatever tastes good.
Whatever tastes good. But let's begin to, and I urge you to do this, and this is my prayer for you guys, putting God in front of this first, so it won't be a selfish prayer. But let's begin to love ourselves as well as we love others, because love is an action word to me, and when I see you responding to me in love ways, when you're giving me the affection, when you're going out of your way to do business with me, like the Vietnamese went a half hour to their restaurant, to me that's an expression of love, not just for yourself, but for your community.
And you want it
Because
to be contagious.
it's contagious.
That's what you want. You want love to be contagious. You want love to be contagious so that it's that power that keeps giving.
Keep giving. And I must say, and I do take this from a ministerial point of view, because God opened these doors for me. He put me in the right places. And you guys know my affirmation is, Lord, put me in, get up with the prayer in my heart. Bring the right people into my path. Let me go to the right places. And then let me have the right ears to hear. Now listen to this. Ears to hear. because someone can be telling you where they hit $1 million, but if you can't hear, you can't get it.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
so let's open up our heart to be able to hear from the heart what these great people will come and say. And then I'm encouraging you, Brother Griffin, to look in your coffers and find the right people to bring us. Every Friday over the next 2 months, we're gonna be right here, United Gospel Explosion TV. And I do this because this is a good news TV show, if we can. And don't get me wrong, there's plenty of tragedies, there's plenty of turmoil, and we have every news. It's 3 different news hours of the day at least, and now news streams constantly where you can find the tragedy. And we want to support you on that. But here, we're opening up the good news TV show, because when I bring these people in, we're coming from a positive point of view about you. Now, I always say what God got to do it before we leave. Spiritually, God, as you know him, how do you feel your spiritual background had set you up for some of the, and as you know, Brother Darwin is like some other friends come over here. They have 10 different organizations they're working with. You guys saw my sister Barbara T. Johnson, same way. And then they interchange on these boards sometimes because it's about helping the community. But spiritually, it takes a lot. And what does your spiritual fortitude have to do with the man we see sitting here today?
Well, see, that's the thing, because I have a page on Facebook called Measure of a Man. And my Facebook page is not about the relationship with each other, but it's about the relationship that people have with God.
Yes.
And that's where everything flows through.
Okay.
That's the relationship that I have, because I know that I can't do anything
Right.
without God.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
That is my go-to whenever I'm down. And the one thing I always say, and I tell people all the time, when you go and you need to talk to God, he never puts you on hold. There is no caller ID where he looks and says, oh, I see James Torrance on there, so I can hold off on him or something like that.
Yeah, he just talked to me.
You know,
Right,
that's
exactly.
the thing, and there is no time or place that you can't reach him.
Absolutely.
And
Thank
that's the thing, that whereas like with others, you might go and call somebody, they may be asleep, they may be anything that could be going on with them where they may not be able to go and pick up the line. But God's word resonates in me, and it resonates out of my heart to other people. Because the one thing that I see more than anything else, James, is that you never know when somebody may need you. And that's the one thing that I love when it comes to, like you said about love, you never know when you may be in need of somebody's assistance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and this is the blessing of how this thing works. But, and this is one of my sayings, you guys, as I open my heart, to your relationships, good relationships, as you open your heart to those, and you begin to have relationships with different people, like me and Darwin, because of the relationship. And it doesn't have to be that you go and play cards every week or you go fishing every Sunday, but the fact that you've had a good relationship, a good respectful relationship for one another. When I saw him here, it was an instantaneous gravitation. And that's how relationships will work for you. And I was telling some young people, because we're about to wrap it up in a minute, go where your attitude, life takes you where your attitude and where your relationships take you. And you know the expression, I don't want to be too cliche, but I was told that your attitude dictates your altitude. How high you going to go in life. So sometimes when I think back on the fraternity brothers from college, when I think back from some of the people through my church, when I think back on some of the relationships, I made in school, that all these things have come together to hold true. Because it wasn't that I was so great, but that I was able to share, what was in my heart with what was in your heart. And we came together, and there was a growth, and you see that now, and it's not what you say to people when you with them, but it's what they hold about you when you go.
And you want to leave somebody with a positive impression of you.
Yeah.
You want to go, and you want so that I don't have to worry about looking over my shoulder because I feel like whatever I do, whatever I say, I look in the mirror at the end of the day,
Right.
and I feel good about the people that I touched, and I want to leave a part of me with everybody that I touch.
And that's
just
love.
as you do when you do your show.
Right.
You leave a bit of James Torrance with everybody when they walk out of the station. They've got a bit of you that they
should
leave
feel
out
a
here
little
with.
bit better about you.
Exactly.
And so that's what, and our life goal is sharing that kind of love. And you know, you guys remember, you can put it all down if you want to, but those little words in red just always seem to hold true for lifetime.
They do.
You know, and Jesus, when he said, "Love your neighbor as you love yourself," that's towards the greatest commandment. And if you and you know, I saw that love from the Vietnamese when they went out the way to go 30 minutes to find a store that they could share with their community. That wasn't hate towards the other restaurants along the way, but that community love was so strong. I just wanted to share that with you guys. And look, and it's for you too. So you guys get ready, Entrepreneurship Month. Entrepreneurs, you guys give me a call at 313-728-2025, 313-728-2025. And Darwin, if you don't mind, before we go off, give them a way to contact you.
If someone wants to get in contact with me, they can contact me at 313-628-7778.
All
Or
right.
they can contact me at 313-658-6557.
Okay, do you have an internet presence out there?
I don't
You
have an
rather the
internet
personal
presence,
call?
but people can go and they can look at me and see me on my Facebook page, Darwin Griffin, or they can look into the Measure of a Man, which is my Facebook page that I've had for the last 10 years, and get some inspirational advice and some sound wisdom. Because one thing I just want to say real quick, I believe in the 5 Ps. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. And that's the thing that I live by all the time, and I impart that to you, to this audience as well.
Thank you so much, brother. It's always a treat, Darwin. Oh, who knew? God bless us with you today. And you guys stay tuned. Next week, we're going to bring in, I have Gina T. She's the Midwest Queen of Fashion. She's going to come in and be talking about how you guys can get involved in your kids as well as to adult and real runway fashion shows. She's coming out of Detroit. She's doing some amazing things. You guys stay tuned. Great fun next week. Peace.
You're watching United Gospel Explosion. United Gospel Explosion TV.
See, I'm a gangster with God and I'm spreading the word. Truth be told, that's right, truth be heard. No matter what your gift is, it's made to see. So give it up for victory.